In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to win more unlimited games in Season 5 of NBA 2K23 My Team. Whether you guys want to get the Radiant 20 pack box at the final prize of Unlimited, whether you guys want to grind for the Hall of Fame badges, the tokens, the MT, maybe you guys want the Season 4 option pack, you guys want that Galaxy X English card, for whatever you guys want in Unlimited, I'll be showing you guys how to win more unlimited games in Season 5. So the first thing I do want to talk about, guys, is going to have to do with the team you guys run. And I'm not saying exactly the cards you guys run and, oh, you should have the best team in the game, because you can win with a squad even a lot worse than mine. If you're decent at the game and you know some stuff about the mode that I'll teach you guys about here in a second, you guys can win with pretty much any squad in the game that is like amethyst and diamonds above if you're good enough. But obviously try to use the best possible team you guys can build. But talking about your squad and how you want to structure it, at least for me personally, I like to have at least 2 ball handlers on each line. Now if you want to have only 1 ball handler, I think that's perfectly fine, but for me personally, in my playstyle, I like to have 2 ball handlers on my starting lineup and then 2 ball handlers on my bench as well. So for example, if you guys look at my starting lineup, I got Russell Westbrook and Ray Allen to run my backcourt. They're going to be super good offensively, and then you want to have that one lockdown guy on the court, whether it's your small forward, your shooting guard, your point guard, even your power forward as well. For me, on my starting lineup, that's going to be Galaxy Jonathan Isaac. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the game, and you want to have that one lockdown guy you can put on their best ball handler. So if you match up against a Tracy McGrady, you want to have like a Jonathan Isaac, a Scottie Pippen, maybe a Magic Johnson, a guy that can match up against a Tracy McGrady, you know, some of these best offensive cards in the game, LaMelo Ball, you know, even like a Vince Carter, Ray Allen, to put on their best ball handler. You want to have that lockdown small forward. And then talking about your big man, I mean, just guys that can shoot. At least for me personally, in the way that I play the game, I like to have cards that can space out the floor, whether it's a D-Rob, a Jokic, a Yee, a Dino, just cards that can shoot the 3 ball and can play very solid defense as well. So the team isn't that important. Obviously it does matter the way you structure it. For example, I wouldn't really do something like this, because if you look at my starting lineup, yes, we're gonna have a lot of offense, but my 1 through 4, we really don't have too many good defenders, and that's why Jonathan Isaac needs to be starting to give us that defense, give us that height, and even I could use like a little bit better of a defensive line. For me personally, I like to play a little bit more offense, but most people would probably just get a Magic Johnson or a Ben Simmons to play over Russ. But for me personally, I like using Russell Westbrook. Is he better than a Ben or a Magic? I don't believe so. I just like using Russ, and I would say honestly, build your squad to have the best success of winning, but also build a squad just to have fun, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what most people are playing my team for. You know, you want to get these wins, you want to get these prizes, but make sure you guys are using a lineup as well that you also like running. Talking about some dribble moves and just some very simple sigs that you guys want to learn how to do. It's not really sigs, but just dribble moves, and I'm only going to go over this like really quickly. I might make a new dribble, I might make a dribble tutorial, you know, going over like all the advanced dribble sigs. But the first thing you want to know, and I know it's very simple to do, but it's literally just going to be, I call a snatch back, drag back, whatever you do want to call it. All you want to do is go up on the right stick and down on the left stick, and you guys can see I'm going to hit you guys with the little snatch back animation, right? So you hit him with a little snatch back and then you can burst out of it. But first, just practice up on the right stick and then down on the left stick, not at the same time, or it's going to do like this. You want to go up on the right stick and then down on the left stick. It's going to take a little bit of time to get used to. If you guys haven't never done this move before, it might take a little bit of time to get, you know, consistently, and then once you get used to it, you can kind of spam it over and over again. Like the double escape or the double backwards escape can be very effective. But so when you guys actually do the snatch back, you want to learn how to burst out of it. As you guys can see, I do that snatch back and then I run to the side, and that's going to be a really good way. If you call it pick and roll, for example, right, and I want to go around the screen and then I want to stop and shoot, that's going to be a great way to get a lot of 3s up. So that's one way I will say for dribbling, is you guys want to master that snatch back and then kind of bursting and comboing out of that, and that's just going to be a really basic way to score. So other than the snatch back and learning how to burst out of that, obviously there's some more advanced stuff that I might make a separate video going over, but you want to learn how to shoot the normal leaners on next gen. Now on current gen, you can't shoot these normal fades unless you got like the Trae Young leaner or you got the Steph Curry leaner. And on next gen, what you literally just want to do is run to the right, for example, run to the left, and then you just want to shoot the ball. I think you got to let go of the burst button. Actually, no, you don't have to. I don't let go of the burst. You literally just run to the side and shoot the ball. So run to the side, shoot the ball, right? You're not running forward, because if you run forward, you're going to shoot like a little mid-range. You want to literally run to the side, right? It's called the normal fade, a normal leaner. You don't want to run towards the basket. You want to run towards the side, kind of like to the sideline, right? And then you want to shoot the fade and learn how to green those shots, because that's going to be one of the best ways to score the ball, at least on next gen. Like for me personally, I'm scoring the ball a lot of times with the normal leaner shot. Like if you get somebody to pump fake and then you want to take a quick little normal leaner, it's going to be a super good way to score. So the next thing I do want to talk about here is going to be your defensive settings. So go over to your lineup management, go to your squad, and then go over to coaching and go to coach game plan. And this is where you guys can set your defensive settings. Now, I do have multiple videos going over these defensive settings and going super in depth of why I run each setting, but just to show you guys quickly what my defensive settings are personally, I do believe these are basically the best defensive settings in my team. So what you guys want to have is your on-ball pressure on smother. And once you guys do this, before going into a game, every single time you go into a game, you don't have to set this up, which is a really nice addition they did add this year. So yeah, for example, on-ball pressure, I'd run smother. Off-ball pressure is going to be tight. On-ball screen and on-ball screen center is going to be both go over. You don't want to be going under because then people are going to get wide open threes going around the screen. So you want to have go over. For the hedge, there's multiple different hedges you guys can run. Me personally, I run no hedge. I would say the simpler one to run is probably catch hedge or soft hedge, but once again, you guys can decide which of the three hedges you want to run, whether it's catch hedge, soft hedge, or no hedge. But once again, you want to make sure the hedge and the hedge center are on the same. Like, you don't want to have, for example, soft hedge and then no hedge on the center. That's just not going to really make any sense. So for me personally, I run no hedge and no hedge for the center. Stay attached, you want to make sure that's on yes. Go down to the drive help rules and the screen help rules. Make sure these are on no help. If you have them on automatic, what's going to happen is when people drive to the paint, your corners are going to drop and you're going to give wide open threes. So you want to make sure these both settings are going to be on no help, and the same thing with the cutter help rules as well. Make sure that is on no help. And then the last defensive setting is going to be the transition defense. I see a lot of people leaving this on automatic or leaving this on wall up, but you want to set it to no threes. So when people get the rebound and, like, let's say you missed a shot and people are trying to run in transition, if you notice that a lot of times your defenders leave those wide open threes, that's probably because you have it on wall up or you have it on automatic, which means your defenders, when they're getting back in transition, are just going to leave people wide open for three and try to go to the paint. Especially if you're on wall up, your defenders aren't going to worry about people at the 3-point line in transition. They're just going to run to the middle of the paint, and that's what a wall up is. So you guys want to make sure this is set to no threes, so when people are getting back in transition, they're not going to get wide open threes. So those are going to be the best defensive settings. Now we're actually going to hop into an unlimited game. I'll show you guys the best offensive settings, right? What freelance to run and what you should be doing with your offensive settings, and then show you guys obviously what to be doing in the game. I can't give you guys like a full rundown of me playing a whole unlimited game, but I'll just show you guys what you should actually be doing in game. But first, let's talk about the offensive settings. So into the unlimited game now, you guys can see my opponent's got a really good squad. He's got Yao Ming at the center position, Mike Bantam at small forward, James Harden at shooting guard, and then Denny at the point guard position. So what you want to do right when you get into the game, you don't have to worry about your defensive settings, because like I said, those are going to save if you do them before going into a game. But this you want to focus on is going to be the offensive settings. You want to scroll down to your freelance, and you guys want to set it to the Bucks 2018. Pretty much every single playbook in the game has a Bucks 2018 freelance, and that is all you guys want to do. And that's going to help your spacing and overall just help you on the offensive end get more wide open looks. And you can see my opponent here is 38 and 32, so maybe not the best record in the world, but still got Yao Ming and some very good players on the court. So once you guys win the tip, or just when you get the ball on the offensive end, you want to click right on the right arrows, and that's going to pop up your D-pad. You want to click RB to go to freelance, and then you want to click Bucks 2018. And what that's going to do is set up your freelance. So now you're going to have a lot more spacing. As I'm going to run over Marc Gasol. I wasn't paying attention. We're trying to set up the freelance, but that's what you guys want to do on your first offensive possession. Don't forget to do it, because I've played many unlimited games while on stream or just playing, and I haven't realized to actually put my freelance on, and I noticed mid game I have like literally no spacing, and that's mainly due to the fact that you haven't set up your freelance. So first thing you want to do is set up your freelance, and now you don't have to do it again because it is already set to Bucks 2018. So now talking about offense, me personally, I like to run a lot of pick and rolls, and this just really comes down to your playstyle and what you guys like to do on the offensive end. For me, I've I wouldn't say mastered the pick and roll, but I've got really good at the pick and roll, where I feel like I can score out of it, I would say almost like 70-80% of the time, as we're going to kind of leave his Yao Ming wide open there. He's going to take a little mid-range and knock it down. I'm going to kind of focus on one side of the ball, at a time, not really talking about defense, because it'd be so confusing to try to explain offense and defense at the exact same time. So talking about offense, me personally, I like to run a lot of pick and rolls, because there's so many different reads you guys can hit out of the pick and roll, whether it's, pass back out to your big man, look to drive in. My Russ was like all the way out of bounds. So pick and rolls, you can either drive to the basket with your point guard, you can hit your big man rolling to to the rim. You can shoot the three off the screen. You can, for example, hit your big man at the 3-point line. You can hit him with a slip. You can get a mismatch and then, pass it inside. So there's just so many different things you guys can do in the pick and roll. And I personally like to, I guess you could say, spam pick and rolls. Like literally every time down the floor, I'm running a pick and roll, looking to find my big man on the inside. And for me, at least, I like to start the game attacking the paint. And the reason why I like attacking the paint to start off the ball game is it's going to get my opponent really worried about the rim run and really worried about the drive. And what that causes is they're going to now leave me wide open from three a lot more times, or my opponent's just going to be so worried about me getting to the rim with a guy like Russell Westbrook, or just with my other cards as well. He's going to be so worried about me getting to the rim that it's going to open up wide open looks kind of later in the game. That's just one thing I've kind of added to my game that I at least try to do at the start. It's just look to get to the basket, whether it's with my guard, my big man, and just any card in general. Look to get to that basket and really start out, going to the rim. But if I got a wide open three, just move the ball and be patient. That's another big thing I do want to mention, is make sure to be patient. Don't be taking shots, early in the shot clock. If you're not wide open, pass it out and reset. That's probably one of the biggest pieces of biggest piece of advice I will say for Unlimited is honestly just be patient. Now, one main thing you guys want to do on defense is you want to switch your best on-ball defender onto their best player. So for example, my opponent's got James Harden and he's really going through Harden. So I'm going to take Jonathan Isaac by clicking on his icon, and then I'm going to set him onto James Harden. So now on the defensive end, my Jonathan Isaac will be matching up against his James Harden. And that's going to really help me because Jonathan Isaac's my best defender. And like I said, you want to be having those defensive guys to really help you out against one of their best offensive cards. So once again, like I said, for offense, make sure you guys are staying patient, making the right read, make that extra pass. Don't, have to take a wide open look, or sorry, not a wide open look, but don't take a contested shot. Make sure you guys are taking those good looks that you can get. We're going to leave him wide open because I think he's in a 5-out spacing and he's just going to kick to the corner. But like I said, or kick to the wing. I'm not really talking about offense or defense right now, mainly just focus on the offensive end. So be patient, right? Like I said, use that normal leaner. We're going to have a space here in the corner and we're going to be able to get to that corner and knock down that three with Ray Allen. Like I said, it's kind of hard to, play the game and explain at the exact same time, but right now I do want to switch my Jonathan Isaac onto Harden. For whatever reason, it isn't switching right now. But yeah, like I said, on offense, I like to attack the paint at the start of the game, get down low, because I feel like if my opponent's really worried about me mashing, rim running, getting to the rim, he's going to leave me a lot more wide open, I would say, later in the game, because he's so worried about the rim run. But that's one thing I will say also, is you guys got to be able to green wide open. I've said this many times on stream. If you can't green wide open with all your cards, you got to get better at the game, because if you were legit wide open with any card on your lineup, you should be able to knock it down pretty consistently if you want to be, very elite at this game. If you watch all the comp players, all these elite players play on Unlimited and just scrims and, wagers and tournaments, you will see like the top guys like Splash, Nike on, next gen, those guys aren't missing if they're wide open. And that's something you guys should try to implement in your game as well. Whether it's sitting in freestyle, just playing a lot of Unlimited, getting those reps up, you just cannot be missing wide open. And me included, I got to get a lot better at it as well. Also, one more thing I do want to mention on the offensive end is using backdoor cuts, because it's honestly one of the most glitchy ways to score in this game. You guys can see it is to do a backdoor cut. You just want to hold down Y on Xbox or hold down triangle on PS, and that's going to send a backdoor cut. And I would say like at least 70-80% of the time, the backdoor cut is going to get somewhat open, and it's one of the best ways to score in this game. I'll show you guys a couple possessions of me literally just backdoor cutting, and I can guarantee you at least 7-10 of them are going to work, right? Send him on a backdoor cut. We had that wide open pass, but he's going to foul us. But yeah, guys, that's going to be pretty much everything you want to know about how to win Unlimited games in Season 5. I do apologize for my explanation actually in the Unlimited game. It's really hard to explain while actually playing the game. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, specifically on the gameplay, what to be doing on offense, what to be doing on defense. But just to kind of recap it, on offense, you want to be patient, be able to greet your wide open three, so sit in freestyle, and make sure you know everyone's jump shot, take use of that normal leaner, make sure you guys are using the snatchback like I kind of showed you guys in freestyle there. Those are basically the offensive tips, pick and roll, get to the rim, start off the game by, going to the rim a lot, and that's going to be a great way to score. And then obviously, like I said, once you get to the rim a lot, your opponent's going to be worried about the drive, and they're going to kind of help off, sit back on their center, and then the pop in those threes should be wide open. So those are my best offensive tips. Talking about defense, also backdoor cuts on the offensive end. Those are super good and super helpful by holding Y or triangle, depending on what console you play on. And then talking about defense, mainly the first thing I do want to talk about is, or the first thing I did talk about was switching your best best on-ball defender onto their best offensive card. So whether they have a T-Mac, a Harden, a Russ, they have I don't know, Vince Carter, Ray Allen, make sure you guys are switching your Jonathan Isaacs, your LeBrons, your Scottie Pippins, your Giannis's, switching those guys on the ball, and they're going to be very good on-ball defenders. And watching the backdoor cut, that's another great defensive, or another amazing defensive tip that you guys need to learn how to do, is learning how to click on for when people do backdoor cut you, so you can click on and try to get that tip pass or the steal. Another defensive tip that I didn't really talk about too much in the unlimited gameplay or unlimited footage, I guess you could say, is actually playing hedge defense and overall just playing good pick and roll defense. Once again, didn't really show you guys that, but you want to be clicking on and off your point guard and your center and just trying to play those screens really well, stopping them from driving, clicking on, stopping the drive. And overall, like I said, I didn't really explain it too well actually in the unlimited game, so if you guys have any other questions, do let me know in the comment section down below. But team was the first thing we talked about. Make sure you guys are setting up your team properly, learning that snatchback move and taking advantage of the normal leaner. Those defensive settings, make sure you guys are setting up your freelance with the Bucks 2018 freelance, setting it up in game. And then you can also 5-out as well by clicking left on the D-pad and then clicking pass and screen away, and that's going to be a 5-out. If you're standing at the top of the key or wherever you are on the court, you can call for a 5-out. So if you want even more spacing, the 5-out is another really good way to score the ball. And then, like I said, all this stuff I did give you guys for tips on the offensive end and the defensive end should be very helpful. But if you guys do have any other questions of something that I didn't really explain that well, or just other stuff you want to know about the game, let me know in the comment section down below. But once again, I do apologize for maybe not the best explanation in game. It is really hard to explain while playing a limited game. I forgot how hard it is to do that, but hopefully this video did help you guys out and you guys did learn something from it and it was useful. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.